Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to today's math lesson. Today we are looking at Module 2, Lesson 19. And our learning goal is I can subtract by counting on and taking from a 10. So really what this is this kind of a review of the two strategies we've done in the past. The one strategy where we count on to find the difference between two numbers, and the other one, which we did yesterday and we've done lots of times, and that's taking from 10. Well, let's review those two strategies first, and then we'll decide which one to use in a problem. First, let's take a look at the counting on strategy again. Now, when we're counting on from what we're subtracting to our whole number. Here's what I mean by that. We want to find out the difference between 8 and 12. And remember, that's actually what we call the answer in subtraction, the difference. So we want to know how many is it, or the difference between 8 and 12. So how many is it to go from 8 over to 12? To do that, we write down the number 8 first, and then we draw dots to count on all the way up to 12. So we have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we counted up 4 times to get from 8 to 12. So that's how many it is between the two. So we can write down then 4 as our answer. Now, how this works on a number line is very similar. So if you were to have a number line out here and you were to count from 8 to 12, you'd be doing it the same way. You'd be going 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we went on this number line from 8 to 12. So that's our difference here, 8 to 12. And then we count how many bumps we made. We made 1, 2, 3, 4 bumps to get from 8 to 12 on our number line. So essentially what this number line is doing is it is showing that the difference between 8 and 12 is 4. There's 4 between the two of them. All right, well, let's take a look at our other method. So I have 4 when I use my counting on method, making a 10. This is the one that we've used a lot. Remember, we did this quite often with the 9 when we subtracted 9. So this would be like 12 minus 9. So that's where we make a 10, because 10s are friendly numbers. They're really easy to work with. So we're going to take a 10 out of this 12. And if I take a 10 out of the 12, the other part of my mini number bond over here is going to be a 2. Because 10 and 2 make 12. Now, I have my nice friendly number here, 10. And I know that when I subtract 8 from 10, that leaves me with 2. And 2 plus 2, so I can write that over here if I need to. 2 plus 2 equals, 4. That's right, boys and girls. So it's going to be the same answer. So on this one, we made a 10, and we subtracted 8 from the 10, and we knew instantly, oh yeah, I only need 2 more to make 10 when I have an 8. So I knew 10 minus 8 is 2, and I have 2 left over, and 2 plus 2 is 4. So it's the same answer, and I have 4 when I use my making a 10 method. Let's compare the two. What I want you to do right now is to pause the video, grab a sheet of paper or your whiteboard, and we're going to do some on together. So pause it and come right back. All right, welcome back, boys and girls. We're going to be doing this problem together. 13 minus 8. We're first going to take from 10, and then we're going to be counting on. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to write down 13 minus 8. Now, we're going to take from 10. So what's the first step we do when we take from 10? That's right, we make a 10 to take from. So we're going to make our mini number bond here, and we're going to take 10 out of that 13. Once we take 10 out of the 13, how many do we have left on this side? Yep, that's right, 3. So go ahead and write your 3 down. Now, we need to subtract 10 minus 8. So what's 10 minus 8? Yeah, 2. I didn't even have to wait for you to answer that, did I? Everyone knows that one. Good job. So now we have 3 and 2. When we add those together, those equal, you got it, 5. So this is what everyone should have written down for our take from 10 example. Pause the video and catch up if you haven't done that yet. Okay, now what I'd like you to do is to write down 13 minus 8 again right next to it. And we're going to count on, use the counting on strategy. So to do that, do you remember the first thing we need to do? Yeah, we're going to write down that 8 and then draw dots counting up to 13. So let's do that. Let's write down our 8 and then let's count up to 13 because we're finding the difference between the 8 and the 13. So we have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. All right, so let's see how many we have left then. So it looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, same answer as over here. So go ahead and let's write down that 5 together. And if you aren't caught up to where we're at, pause the video, catch up to where we are, press play, and we'll try another example. Looking back at our other one here, for me, taking from 10 was a little bit easier than counting on because I had to draw out 5 dots and that took a while. Whereas here, just making that quick mini number bond, I don't know, for me it felt faster. If one of these strategies feels better for you, feels more comfortable, use the one that you like better. There's no right or wrong way to do it. As long as you're getting the right answer, you're okay. We're just practicing both of these right now because we need to have both of these tools down so you can choose which one to use for depending on the problem that we're on. All right, welcome back, boys and girls. Hopefully you're all caught up. We're going to try this again. Which one should we choose? The 16 minus 8. Should we do take from 10 or counting on? Well, we're going to do both of these strategies again so we can practice them both and then decide which one to use. Okay, so again, we're going to do both of these strategies, taking from 10, counting on. Let's start out by writing together 16 minus 8 over here. So here's our 16 minus 8. Now it's our take from 10. So let's take 10 out from it. So there's my 10. Now on my mini number bond, once I take 10 out of it, what's my other number going to be? The other side of my mini number bond. Yep, that's right, a 6. Good job. Okay, now let's subtract our 8 from 10 because 10's a friendly number and it's easy to work with. And we know that 10 minus 8 is 2. All right, let's add up what we have left, 6 and 2. So if I were to write it down here, 6 plus 2 equals, 8. And in fact, if we think back to our doubles, addition facts, we would know 8 plus 8 is 16. So we could look at that and just use our doubles to solve this one if we had to. All right, let's write 16 minus 8 over here for counting on. And again, pause the video to catch up to where we are at if you're not there. Okay, let's get started. So 16 minus 8, we're going to do the counting on strategy. So let's write down 8, and we're counting from 8 up to 16 because we need to know the difference between the two numbers. So let's do that. So we have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Wow, that was a lot of counting, wasn't it? So we have the same answer though. We wrote out 8 dots. So 8 plus 8 is 16. So the answer's the same. Nothing is different there. But to me, this just took a long time. This was pretty quick. But that's just me. You may prefer the counting on method. And if so, that's okay. All right, let's take a look at another problem. Oh, wait a minute. There's a cat sitting in a bowl. All right, well, you can tell me about that in class tomorrow. Let's take a look at another one. Okay, one more time. Let's look at that cat again. All right, now let's look at our next problem. Okay, 14 minus 8. Again, we're looking at which one should you use. So far for me, the taking from 10 strategy has been better. But again, maybe for you, counting on has worked better. We're going to be doing both. So again, make sure you're doing both problems with me. So let's write down 14 minus 8 over here for our taking from 10. So 14 minus 8. And the first thing we need to do when we take from 10, we need to make a 10. So I'm going to write my 10 down right here. The other side of my mini number bond then will be, yeah, that's right, 4. Because 10 and 4 make 14. So here's my complete number bond. 14 is my total, and my two parts are 4 and 10. When I subtract 8 from 10, everybody, what's 10 minus 8? That's right, 2. And then 4 plus 2, because that's what I have left over. I have 4 left over here, 2 left over here. 4 plus 2 is, yeah, you got it, 6. So that means 14 minus 8 equals 6. So my 4 and my 2, I add them up, it equals 6. And that's our answer. Go ahead and pause the video if you aren't caught up to where we're at. Then press play, and we're going to move on to counting on. All right, everyone, time for counting on. Let's write down our problem again. So again, we're doing the same problem here, 14 minus 8. We're just trying to decide which one is easier for us to use, which one we should use when subtracting, which strategy. So I'm going to start out by writing down my 8, because that's where we begin. We want to find out the difference between our 8 and 14. So we want to go from 8 all the way up to 14. So we have 8, and that's time to count on. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. All right. So it looks like we got the same answer. We have 6 dots that we drew out. And really, this time it wasn't too bad. This was pretty easy. I wrote 8, and then I just had to put down 6 dots. So the difference between the 8 and 14, it's smaller than the 16 minus 8 one. I kind of like counting on this one. So let's plug in our answer over here. The answer is 6. So again, it depends on the problem and it depends on the person as to which strategy you should use. All right, boys and girls, what I want you to do right now is pause the video, go ahead and grab your lesson 19 problem set from module 2. So pause the video, grab that, come right back, and we'll take a look at the problem set. Welcome back, boys and girls. So here's what your lesson 19 problem set should look like. The top, it should say lesson 19 problem set 1.2. And the first problem will look similar to this. Well, will look exactly like this, actually, where you have this little smiley face here, that little thought bubble thinking things. So let's take a look together at number 1. Well, first let's look at the directions, right? So it says use a number bond to show how you use the take from 10 strategy to solve the problem. Okay, so we know what they're wanting us to do. We don't even have a choice. We're doing the make 10 strategy with that mini number bond. So here's the problem. Kevin had 14 crayons. 8 of the crayons were broken. Oh, that's too bad. How many of his crayons were not broken? Okay, so if 8 were broken, that means we're going to take those 8 out. So here's what we got. Here's our 14. They already wrote it out. Minus 8. The 8 we're going to take out. So we're going to start out here with our mini number bond, which they kind of have set up for us over here. So let's mimic that. We're going to take our 10 out from our 14. Once we take our 10 out, we know the other part of our number bond is going to be a, yep, that's right, 4. Okay, now we're going to subtract our 8 from 10, which we all know is, yep, 2. And 4 plus 2 equals, because we're adding up the 4 and 2, that's what we have left. 4 plus 2, yeah, 6. So let's write down 6. Don't forget, we also need to write 6 over here to complete our sentence. Kevin had 6 crayons that were not broken. So this was our make 10 strategy. Let's take a look at number 2. So numbers 2 and 3, they say to use number bonds to show your thinking. I'm going to do number 2 with you. You will do number 3 by yourself. So let's take a look at number 2. We're going to make our mini number bond. We're going to take 10 out of it. And the other side of this number bond, if we take 10 out of 17, will be, yep, that's right, 7. So let's plug in our 7 there. Now we're going to subtract our 10 minus 8. And we already know what that is, don't we? 2. So then we just go 7 is what we have left, and 2 is what we have left. And I'm going to write it over here just so I can see. 7 plus 2 equals, yep, that's 9. You guys are doing great today. So 7 plus 2 is 9. So that's our answer. 17 minus 8. So we have a group of 17. We take 8 out of that group. That will leave us with 9 left over. I would like you now to do number 3 by yourself. So pause the video, do number 3. When you're done, come back and we'll take a look at the next problem. Welcome back. I hope you were able to solve number 3. We're going to look now at numbers 4 and 5. The directions are count on to solve. I'll do number 4 with you. You will do number 5 by yourself. So when we count on to solve, remember we want to find the difference between 8 and 13. It's still the same subtraction problem as when we make 10. We still have 13 total, and we still are taking 8 away from that group of 13. It's just we're just finding the difference between those two numbers by counting on. So let's start out by writing the number 8 down. So that 8 we write here, and we're going to count up to 13. So we have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. All right, so here's what we have left. So the difference between 8 and 13 is 5. So we wrote down 5 dots, so that is going to be our answer. Okay, boys and girls, I'd like you now to pause the video. You are going to be doing number 5 on your own. Once you're done with number 5, press play, turn your paper over, and we'll take a look at the next problem together. All right, boys and girls, welcome back. So this is what the second page of our problem set looks like. We have a number line up here where you can check your answers on. Remember how we did that a few problems ago? We have that number line and we counted on it. We're going to be doing number 6 together now. So the directions read, complete the subtraction sentences by using the take from 10 and count on strategies. Check the strategy that seemed easiest for you. Okay, so what they want us to do is we're going to do the make 10, we're going to do the count on, and then put a check mark for which one you like best for that problem. So let's do number 6 together. So number 6, we have 12 minus 8. So let's do our make 10. So I'm going to take 10 out of that 12. The other side of my number bond there will be 2. And now I'm going to subtract my 8 minus 10. That leaves me with, that's right, 2 left over. So 2 plus 2 equals, you guys got it, 4. You guys are doing awesome today. All right, now we're going to do our take or count on strategy. So for our count on strategy, we have to count up from 8 to 12. So let's do that. Let's write down 8 and let's go up to 12. 9, 10, 11, 12. So again, we've got 4. 4 is the same answer. So let's plug that in here. And we can then choose. What was easier for you? Take from 10 or count on? For me, count on. Now, let's take a look at what we've done over here. They have an addition problem. 8 plus equals 12. This is a fact family, boys and girls. Do you see how we have 12, 8, and 4? Those are the only numbers we're using in this problem here. And they brought them over here, and we have 8, 4, and 12. The same exact numbers. We are not making up new numbers. We're not throwing in a 13 or a 7 or a 5. We're just sticking with the 8, 4, and 12. So 12 minus 8 is 4. Well, if we do the opposite, 8 plus 4, that equals 12. Let me show you something here, boys and girls. So if I were to write down 12 minus 8 equals 4, because that's what we have right here. 12 minus 8 equals 4, 12 minus 8 equals 4. I can change this. If I were to change this equal to a plus sign and this minus to an equal sign, watch what happens. So I'm going to erase those. I'm going to change them up here. So 8 plus 4 equals 12. I didn't do anything with the numbers. The same numbers, I just made these signs change and move around. And it's the same problem as here. 8 plus 4 equals 12. So it's a fact family. And that's one thing I really want you guys to notice today, is that we have these fact families where we have these sets of numbers. We don't change the numbers up. We keep them the same. And we can just rearrange them into a different problem. Let me zoom out here. So we did number 6 together. I'm going to drop down to number 8. We will do number 8 together. And you are going to do number 7 and 9 by yourself. So number 8. Let's start on that. We're going to start with our make 10 strategy. We're going to take 10 out of that 16. And once we take 10 out of that 16, the other side of our number bond will be 6. So we have 10 minus 8, which we all know is 2. And we can add that together now, what we have left over. 6 and 2 is 8. So let's put that in here. Okay, now we're going to do the counting on strategy here. 8, and we're going to count on to 16. 8 plus what is 16? But I don't need to count on, do I? I can look over here at my fact family. I have 16 minus 8 equals 8. And I know if I do the opposite, 8 plus 8 equals 16. So there's the same thing. 8 plus 8 equals 16. Now, if I were to draw it out, it would be 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So if you needed to draw it out, you still could. But look at this. It says, did you use a different strategy? Well, we have our double strategy that we can use, 8 plus 8. We also have the fact family strategy that we could use too, where we know that it's a fact family. And we know we can reverse this problem here. 8 plus 8 equals 16. For this one, I'm going to go with take from 10 as the strategy I think would work best for this one. Let me zoom out here. Now, boys and girls, we have done number 6 and number 8 together. You are going to be doing number 7 and number 9 by yourself. So again, you're going to do number 7 and number 9 by yourself. If at any point you don't know what to do, pause the video and rewind it to some of the ones that we did together as an example. I don't want you struggling trying to figure out what to do. Just rewind the video, rewatch the examples as many times as you need until you understand it, and then finish up number 7 and number 9. You guys have done great today. I'm very proud of all the work you've done. Don't forget to take a picture of both sides of your problem set in Seesaw. And as always, I can't wait to see the work that you post.